Hello there. So, if you ever played the Japanese horror game Deadly Premonition, which I have not, by the way, you will know that there is a scene in it whereby a Harry Stewart, assisted by his aide Michael Tillotson, because Mr. Stewart wears a gas mask and is wheeled around all day, goes into a diner and orders a sandwich which is comprised of raspberry jam, cereal and turkey between white bread. And the guy who was already in there, a fella called Francis York Morgan, who I assume is an FBI detective or some shit like that, is initially a bit taken aback by this idea, calling it a sinner sandwich, as prescribing it as a self-inflicted punishment to atone for past sins, apparently. And after a bit of persuading, he eats their sandwich, and it turns out that it is really, really rather delicious. And so, after a certain somebody decided to suggest that I try it, I will find out if it is as delicious as Harry Stewart assures me. Now, there are several videos already on YouTube, of course, which feature people eating said sandwich, and to prepare for this video, I have not watched any of them. So, I'm almost certainly not treading any new ground here. You might as well turn this one off and go and watch that now or something, if you want. But I do think this sandwich is actually going to be really quite nice, because I mean, I've gone for a really cheap, thick white loaf, like sliced loaf, that you could probably use to smother a small rodent to death if you wanted. So that should act as sort of quite a nice cushion. We've got the chicken. No, sorry, turkey. Turkey. Don't know why I said that. We've got the raspberry jam, which is an unseeded variety, which is a bit of a shame because I like the seeds, but can't be helped. But thankfully, I have got texture being provided by some honey Cheerios, which I found because they were on half price. The turkey was on offer because it goes out of date very soon, so there is a small chance this is going to give me the shits. And if you don't know what Cheerios are, they are basically Fruit Loops, but with the party taken out of them. But I do think it's all going to cement itself quite well, because you'll have the texture being provided by the cereal. You're going to have the raspberry jam acting as almost like a foil to the turkey, in a similar way as you might use cranberry sauce with turkey, or with chicken, or like apple sauce with pork, or like lingonberry jam with blood pancake. So obviously, add a bit of tartness to the otherwise, blandness. The only thing I have done is, because I've bought a honey Cheerio set, I'm effectively adding the sweetness of that with the sweetness of the Cheerio. So it's probably going to be pretty sweet. If you'd like to take a look at this. Very nice. Looks They do say that the first bite is with the eye, and my eye is chanking up a storm right now. But, no, I have every faith that Mr. Stewart is going to be my newfound favourite friend. Needs more jam. Definitely needs more jam or something. Something maybe a bit more acidic. So maybe a cranberry or a lingonberry or even a blackcurrant, to be honest. Hang on, I'll try a bit further in, so I'll just dissect this slightly. All my life, what have I done? Alright, so I think maybe I needed more of the jam, but at the moment I don't think it sticks out enough. Perhaps raspberry too sweet or too weak to sort of really cut through it, but otherwise it's just a very, very quite a bland sandwich in all honesty, with a hell of a lot of sugar in it, and some pop rocks or something sort of moving around, making everything weirdly crunchy. I think the problem is that you sort of bite into it, and the chicken which is in there, because I sort of did it in like strips as well, you kind of get that first layer of clag presented by the bread, and then you've got a second layer of clag which is presented by the chicken. So all the jam does is provide like a lubricated surface for the cereal to go wee all round it and get into every single part of your mouth possible. Which sounds great, but all it does is slightly hurt your gums as you do it. I mean, if I just try one more. Yeah, it's still sticking. I hope this Harry Stewart guy is not a bad guy, because I'll be fearing for my life right about now. I mean, it's not bad per se. Like, it doesn't taste unpleasant in any way. It's just very, very Magnolia. It's kind of like a very, very run-of-the-mill shoegaze album. It's pleasant enough, doesn't really stand out, and you'll probably forget about the flavour about 10-15 seconds after it's done. Yeah, bit disappointed with that one, to be honest. Maybe if I tried like a different sort of bread, so maybe like a proper white, or like a bakery white, or maybe even a rye bread or something, and then try that with you know, some like lingonberry jam. That'd be quite some strong flavour, a bit denser, rather than just sort of sliding about. I don't know. I think that one's got a 5 out of 10 written all over it. On the plus side, I feel like my sins, which currently consist of not getting in touch with the estate agents about moving house, have been fully atoned. Yeah, well, thank you all very, very much for watching. Have a safe one.